Hi everyone, I'm Patty Harris Jenkinson, and I'm here to teach you how to create a simple pie chart in Excel. According to the Irish Tech News in 2017, over 750 million people use Excel, and you're probably one of them. But just because you can use Excel doesn't mean you know how to create a pie chart. So that's what we're going to talk about today. A pie chart will help make your data more understandable to your viewers. There are three steps to follow in creating the pie chart. The first is you need to get your data into the right format. Then you can create the chart. And then finally, you can format it to make it look like what you want it to. To help us with this, we're going to need some real data. And I went to the Contact Lens King blog in 2017 and I found out these percentages that 55% of the population in the world have brown eyes and so on. So the first thing you have to do is to get your data in the correct format so that you can create your pie. You're going to create one column of the actual what we will call the category names. So brown, hazel, blue, green, and then other. And then the next column is going to be the associated percentages with that. So 55% have brown eyes, 5% have hazel, 8% have blue, 2% had green. And that happens to be all the blog showed me. So those numbers only add to 70%. In order to have a pie chart, all the numbers need to add to 100%. So I estimated the other category at 30%, which gives us the 100. And it does need to be percentages in here. So either type it in as proportions and make it percent or put the percent sign afterwards. So the next step you have to do is to actually select your data and create the pie chart. Now, if you know anything about Excel, you know it's just very easy to select just what you want to have chosen here. So we've selected the brown all the way to the 30% in the other. Now it's time to insert it. So you come up to the insert page or screen on Excel. You come over here to charts and notice here's a little pie chart in the middle. We're going to do a simple 2D pie. So there we go. We have just created a pie chart. But it's not really good looking. So let me bring that back up there again. It's not that good looking. The first thing is we need a chart title. So now it's time to format it. We're going to put in, let's call it I percentages. So you double click on if you saw it, you double click on the chart title and you type in what you wanted to say. Well, that's perfect. But this part on the bottom, the legend, really doesn't help much. It doesn't really tell us any data. So what we want to do is we're going to click on the actual pie. And notice that when you click on the pie once, you're going to see each of these segments. Every single segment has been selected. If you were to click on it a second time, then you're only selecting one segment. For what we're wanting to do, we want all of the segments. So we're going to go ahead and click the entire pie, and then we will right click, and at the very bottom of this pop-up screen, you'll see Add Data Labels. So choose Add Data Labels and then Add Data Labels again. And now all of a sudden, look, you can see the actual data shows up. So we know that 55% is in this larger part of the pie. But we don't know yet, or we have to look to see that this color blue equates to brown by looking at the legend. It'd be a lot nicer if we could put the actual category name here, but there's a simple way to do that. So you will click once on a data label, and you'll notice again, you click it once, all of them are selected. If you clicked it more than once, you're only going to select one, but we want all of them. So click on one of them, and then if you right click at the very bottom, you'll see Format Data Labels. That brings up this menu over here on the side, Format Data Labels, and under Data Label Options, it says Label Contains, and you want to click Category Name. And now you can see that all of the category names show up here. So then all you'll have to do is click on the very bottom where it's got the legend and delete it, and it goes away. Now there's a lot of other things that we can do. For example, I think it makes more sense to have the brown section be, well, brown. So I'm going to double click on it. So I've clicked once and I've selected all the segments, and now I'm going to click again and I've only got the brown segment. So you can see everything is just on the brown one. And then I can right click and I can fill that, and I'm going to fill it with brown, which looks much better, except that you can't see the words brown. So if I click on that once, that has everything selected, but if I click on it again, then I only have this one selected. And so I can now go to the home screen and I can make that white. So now it shows out. There's much better contrast. And you can do that with the rest of these. One more thing that I want to draw to your attention is that you can pull something out to really draw attention to it. So again, if you select all of them, it's called an exploding pie. If you select everything and you pull out something, then everything separates. The entire pie actually explodes. But if we only want one thing to come out, so let's say we want to know just what percentage have green eyes, then if you click again and just select that segment and you pull it out, everything else stays together, but the green is pulled out. So there's a lot more things you can do with this. And here's an example. I did the eye color percentages over here, and you can see that I changed all the colors to what the actual color would be in terms of eye color. So 3 simple steps. You format the data, you select it and create the pie chart, and then you format it the way you want. So hopefully that will help you as you start working on your pie charts for your papers or for your speeches. But just for the record, my eye color, hazel. So I represent only 5% of the population. Thanks for joining me.